We actually expected that. People travel from West Africa. Some of them may become sick and present to hospitals in this country. Hospitals, in their infection control capacities, have been reviewing all their policies and procedures such that with all good hope, we can take care of this patient safely and securely. Also, the public health people will be following up all those contacts of the individual once that person got sick. Because you see, it's after they get sick that they're potentially hazardous to others.
Now, were regular procedures followed? Because it took them 4 days to put this person in hospital in isolation. What are the risks of that?
Well, we'll all be looking at those interactions to see what symptoms the patient had and what the medical response was at the time. And as I say, all the contacts of that individual will be ascertained. They'll be followed up and put under close surveillance to see whether they will become ill.
Now, what is the risk of a wider spread of this virus in the United States? We heard the CDC director say that he's very confident that they will prevent the wide spread of this Ebola virus, but he didn't say we're confident that we can totally prevent the spread of the virus.
Well, as I say, there may be some very limited spread around a case, but widespread, I'm happy to say that will not happen. I'm 100% secure in that.
Now, tell us, what precautions should people take? What should they look for?
Well, the average person need only watch the television and read the newspapers to see what's happening. We in public health and infection control must stay alert, such that if another person gets sick, and it will happen from time to time, that when they go for medical care, they're cared for quickly and safely, that everyone uses the appropriate infection control precautions.
And those precautions are: do not shake hands. Be aware that once a person has fever and is very sick, that's where he's shedding the virus. So have to be very careful about bodily fluids, right? Is there anything else they need to do?
Well, when such individuals present to the hospital, Ralitsa, they must obviously say, I've been spending some time recently in West Africa. That will, of course, alert the caregivers. Also, caregivers now, in emergency rooms and other places, are asking the question of everyone who has a fever: have you traveled? And if so, where have you been?
And one final question, Dr. Schaffner. We know that there's no treatment, but they've been trying some experimental treatments. How hopeful are you about that?
Well, those experiments, those clinical trials are accelerating, and I hope maybe by the first of the year we'll have some product, either a vaccine or some treatment that can be tried in the field. It has to be studied. We don't want to give things that don't work or have bad side effects, of course.
Dr. William Schaffner at Vanderbilt University Hospital, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Ralitsa.